This is John in the car. Hello, John.
Good morning. How are you?
What's up? What are you calling about?
So, I heard somebody say the Red Sox are a top organization in Major League Baseball. Not anymore. They're not.
Not anymore?
And you have to look no further than the fact that Breslow was their 13th choice to run the team, including Kim Ng, who is a very established person in Major League Baseball, and she ran from it like it was Chernobyl. I don't know of many female general managers in Major League Baseball. I don't think there's any. And she said, no, go pound sand. And Wiggy, you can't have it both ways with Devers. If the Red Sox said we'll take 25% of his contract, which would have been about $60 million, which is about $100 to you and me.
Oh, man.
They would have gotten ready-made talent and top products from the Giants. I think John Henry had it up to his eyeballs with the guy being a petulant child and said, I don't care what it costs. I don't want to pay him another penny. Just get half pennies on the dollar for this guy and get him out of here. Hence the taxi cab back from the airport and not a livery service car.
Yeah. I think definitely you can guess that the John Henry meeting, something was said that wasn't honored by Raffy Devers, or the expectation on John Henry's part was that they had worked things out, and they clearly hadn't. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I consider them to be just brand-wise, market-wise, top-tier organization.
Right.
I don't.
If
They-
I had
they
to,
used to be.
If I had to explain it to you and people who don't understand, I would use an ice cream analogy. The attitude and the way their culture is the ice cream, is the hot fudge, is the whipped cream. The salary dump is the cherry on top.
That is so backwards.
No, it isn't. So when you look at everything, at the end of the day, they go, he's not buying in. We want him to buy in. There's an issue we had here. We should have said something to him better in the beginning. So after all of that stuff, then they're like, we have to go on.
Yeah, Curtis would argue that it's at the top.
No, and then it's at the end of it. It's like, okay, if we can unload him and get and not have to pay for his salary, great.
But what's the most important part for the Red Sox organization? The fact that they got rid of Raffy Devers, who's a great player, the fact that they got something in return, which they didn't really get anything good in return, or the fact that they lost or they gave away all that money. It's that they gave away all that money. The other things are the cherry on top.
No, because see, you guys are looking at it wrong, and we can circle this cul-de-sac a million times over. Because if Devers does what he's supposed to do after the fact, we are not sitting here having this conversation. So all of that other stuff led to this. So John Henry going, all right, I'm willing to pay this guy, but he don't want to buy in. You know what? I'm done with it. Let's get rid of him. And if we can get a team to pick up his whole salary, great.
So then why, according to the GM of the San Francisco Giants, did the Red Sox say the one stipulation in terms of the trade talks that was a prerequisite for the deal was the fact that they had to own the entire salary?
Right, because at that point, I agree with you, Curtis. I agree with you. Curtis, I agree with you, just like I agreed with you on Luka Doncic, that it would make more people watch the NBA. So I agree with you that the Red Sox at the end of it said, here's what we want, though. If you're going to take Devers, we want the whole salary paid for and picked up. So I agree with that.
Okay, but if what you're saying is that this was just the last thing in the whole deal, why wouldn't John Henry say, ooh, we'll give them 30%. I mean, sorry, they'll take 70% of the deal. We'll take 30% of the remaining money, and we'll get this best prospect in baseball that will either get us somebody that helps us right now or will be quicker to help us in the big club, as opposed to taking on none of the contract and getting lesser players.
Yeah, because I agree with you. At the end of it, it was, hey, if we can get rid of the contract too, we're all for
But
it.
there was
we're never
one
gonna-
stipulation.
We're never going to know if Rafael Devers bought into this system if they were not going to deal him or not. Yes, you can listen to Craig Breslow, you can listen to Sam Kennedy. I'm told that they lie to us all the time, so I don't know why we would take their word for that. I just think that we'll never know.
We do know.
We don't.
They did not want to trade Devers.
We have no idea going into this season. Maybe when they got Bregman, they said, maybe we can send Rafael Devers packing and let's set him up for failure here and let's make him look like the bad guy. It makes our job a lot easier. We have no idea, and that's where you and I differ, and that's fine. But there's not a wrong and right because we have no idea.
No, but I don't believe that their intentions were.
Courtney might be right. When they were able to get the Bregman deal, now it's dumb on their part because Bregman can opt out at the end of the season.
Right,
anyway.
so that would be stupid.
But you certainly can, when you reach the point where he is going to DH only, and you're looking at that, they're clearly thinking about that organizationally and being like, okay, do we really want the highest paid player on our roster on the Boston Red Sox to be a DH only?
And I agree with that.
Strategically, I don't mind them looking at it.
Right,
like
and
that.
And wouldn't it make sense for them to then say, hey, can you play first base? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? And when he's saying no, it makes him look bad and them look okay
but
for trading him?
To Greg's point, Courtney, you wouldn't.
Greg and I have the same point.
No, you wouldn't then give Bregman a deal where he can opt out after the first year if there's a chance that you're trying to trade Devers anyways. Because not only would you potentially, if Bregman has a great deal, a great year, what do you think he's going to do?
I have no idea.
He's probably going to opt out and go
I guess we'll never know.
No, he's probably going to opt out and go get more money. So not only did you lose Bregman, you lose Devers. So it would be stupid for you as an organization to say, oh, we're bringing in this guy and giving him a player-friendly deal with the intention of trading Devers.
And in 24 hours, we'll have Sam Kennedy on, or an AI bot that sounds like Sam Kennedy. I'm not sure. But we will be able to talk to him, and it's a simple question where, in the end, there was an opportunity for the ownership to invest while offloading. And according to the people they were negotiating with, there was only one prerequisite for a deal, and that was that the team acquiring Devers was eating the entirety of the contract, even though the return was offered to be better should the Sox have taken some of that money back. And you can't tell me that winning is most important if that's what's on the table. We're not talking about $300 million. We're talking about $60 million in being able to compete sooner, but the ownership group once again elected not to.